Attention, all views and opinions expressed in this video and channel are for educational purposes only.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Here we go.
All right, everybody. So we are back, and Bella is back at school, as you can.
Oh, yeah.
See.
It's just different background than it was at school. I have my own room.
I hear you got a new format you're trying to do. Okay, what's up? What we trying to do here?
So pretty much like what we've been doing before has been giving you 3 ideas and have been lightly touching on them. Well, I'm thinking about you focus on one topic and go more of a deep dive into it.
I knew it. I knew that's what she's going to do. When we talked about it this morning, I was telling your mom that was probably what she was going to do so that you could get more oomph into it, you know, and so there's more substance rather than conversation.
Well, because we've been doing this for almost a year now. It'll be a year in January, so I'd like to round it up.
So you wanted to round it up and you wanted to explore much deeper aspects of one singular topic.
Exactly.
Rather than just touch on 3.
Exactly. And so at this point, we've gotten to a point where I've thrown out a bunch of ideas. Now let's just take a deeper dive into them. Now, some of them are like newer ones I've come up with and just expanded upon the ideas. Like this one we're going to talk about is like your upselling and your cross-selling and how that benefits into marketing. Because truly, if you can't upsell, then marketing's not going to work. And let's be so for real about that.
You would think that would go without saying, but it does not.
No, because that's the thing is people don't train very well. Mm-hmm. And let's just think math-wise, right? So you got 1 per customer, right? Let's just say the customer is normally $15 per customer, right?
Sure.
Maybe more, maybe less. But let's just say we add in like they get papers or they get or a lighter. Maybe we add a paper.
Or a blunted lighter.
Exactly, blunted. I have actually the hats over there.
Or they get a medtainer.
Things like that, because let's think of putting more value per customer, not trying to bring in more people. Like, let's just say, so I'm going to go back to one of our old locations we used to have, the Highland location. That was a heavily steady foot traffic area because it was everyone walked out it, everything like that, right?
Right.
So they would come into your store and they're just getting what they need and out, right?
Yeah, it was an everyday purchase.
Exactly. Why don't you upsell it? And so it's more value per customer.
You know, those guys, apparently people lost lighters all the time. Mm-hmm. And they said that outside of the building, they would literally walk out and find 2 or 3 lighters a day. And
because
I said, what did you do?
Down.
Yeah, like they said, they would sit there right there on the stoop, mm-hmm. and they would smoke, and they would walk right off, and there would lay the bick on the ground, or the cricket.
And you wouldn't even think anything of it. I mean, at that point,
they sold so many lighters. That's what made me think of that. Mm-hmm. And then they had learned to say after every transaction, do you need a lighter?
See, that's an easy way to upsell. And that's just adding a couple more dollars to it. It can be something as small as $2 to $3 or upselling to about $50 to $100. Because think about it, you could have one piece, like this one big, Illadelph. The first thing I thought of high value thing was an Illadelph. I always knew that at one point in the stores that was the most thing because I wasn't allowed to touch it. That's how I knew. I was like, I can't touch that because of this. But let's just say they need like a bowl or they need glass cleaner to go with it, right? Yeah. That's the easiest way to upsell.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so things like, let's just say a customer grabs a basic grinder. I'm just going to go like that, right? Then we upsell it being like, this premium one will last you longer. And here's the reasons why. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, but I would argue that fact.
Some grinders are better than other grinders, correct?
Well, I would agree that a more premium grinder, but I'm not talking about brands. I'm talking about the build quality.
That's what I'm talking about. A more premium.
I would argue, I don't have any here. I was looking for.
What are you doing here? It's crazy.
Well, yeah, I know. I can't believe if I
You
had
don't got
known.
any grindies in there. Speaking of which, grindies you can get at unswholesale.com. You can pick Chad as your rep, or Grover, or Brandon. See, look, there he goes. Aha! He's got a grinder.
No. Okay, so these are.
Is that grindy? Nope. Yeah, it is.
This is one of the original grindies.
Yeah,
right?
I know, because I could tell by the green
By the
lettering.
logo. And they are machined, but the grindies we have today are better. They're much better.
And we do have premium styles of the grindies, though. But that's the thing, is what I'm talking about. Premium style is like, let's just say there's more on it. Like, they have the glass drawer on it. Do you remember those?
I do. I still have those. We still get those.
That's what I thought. So things like that, that's more expensive, obviously, than a normal grinder would be, but you have to explain the facts. So this all goes down to your training aspects behind things. So if you can't train,
I don't want to think of it as it is a training issue. I have to agree, it's a training issue. But really, what you're doing is you're training the customer to expect the education of the build. And why this grinder or this water pipe or this hoop or this glass pipe, you have to absolutely educate the customer.
Exactly.
In order to help them, you can't make anybody do anything. In order to help them understand the price.
Yes. Because
a grinder will grind no matter what, but a premium grinder with a better cut and a better blade system.
Yep.
Will last longer, theoretically, if taken care of.
Correct.
But now, you can have the best grinder in the world, and if you don't clean it and take care of it, it'll be no time for its buck.
Exactly. And kind of going along with upselling, you could also cross-sell it. So let's just say you're buying a vape. Do you need extra coils? Do you need extra batteries? Do you need extra juice? Things like that. And that's what you were talking about, with the lighter. That's an easy way to cross-sell.
Well, and with the step up in the promotion, there should be a promotion.
Exactly.
Especially when you start talking about, do you need extra coils? Do you need extra juice? There should be a simple formula. Like if you buy this pen vape, buying an extra coil costs you this much today, or buying extra juice with it costs this today. But if you come in tomorrow, 25% more.
So kind of like what we talked about in earlier videos, like a bundle deal. So using that as a strategy whenever you're doing things like this.
But that's
I love bundle deals, if you can't.
The upsell formula right there you're talking about.
Yes.
And helping them to understand the exclusivity of the deal for on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
But that becomes the upsell. But those upsells can be every single day. If they come in and they buy a pipe. Hey, how about a grinder? And if you buy that grinder with that pipe today, it costs X number of dollars.
Exactly.
But if you come in tomorrow and you buy that grinder, it's going to cost this amount of money.
Mm-hmm. And the key to actually making these sales is make sure that your employees are friendly and helpful and not pushy. Don't make it sound like they have to do this.
Right. I mean, hey, if you're in the need of this, or you think you'll use this is a great idea to do.
Make it feel like it's a good customer service type thing, not a sales pitch.
Well, that's because it is a good customer service thing.
Exactly, but if you're pushy, it's not.
I agree.
So
I agree, because there's nothing worse than a guy that it just seems he's way too pushy, and you feel like I've got to spend the money today or I'm screwed, and that's just not true. That's not true.
we have somebody like that on campus. That's kind of like that. That they sit right in front of our business school and they're pushy to make you sign up for stuff.
Well, somebody needs to teach them sales.
Exactly.
Especially if they're there every day. There is no reason for you to sign up today.
No, there's not. See?
I mean, if they would only show up once a week, you never know when they're showing.
And when we're talking about in-store merchandising, put your lighters, your wraps, your papers all in the front, by the register. Things how we have our papers on the back wall, right?
And our wraps and our lighters and all that. Yeah.
So
at eye level, right there at the register.
because there's psychology behind it. That's why we do things like that. Because your eye gravitates to it. I'll be like, oh, I actually do need this, or oh, I don't need this, or oh, I want to try that today, or this, I want to try this today.
It's also theoretically the fastest moving items in the store. And yes, it is the smallest amount that you could probably sell, but muscle memory is reaching up.
Did you used to do that?
Right.
Yep.
And I knew exactly what was behind me, and I could just keep eye contact with you the whole time. And it was kind of a party trick, but I was good at it.
Well, he can actually see it through the camera. So if he didn't get it, he wasn't like,
Oh, no, I didn't know that was there. I really thought, I didn't know what I was reaching for. And I was just praying to God it was a lighter.
I was hoping it wasn't a dead rat or something.
Wouldn't that be something? But
That'd
anyway,
be fun. Anyways.
Well, if I was just going to get a lighter, I'd just get these two off the front here, and because
You got all these fun lighters.
Right, all these fun. I got lighters, but I don't have grinders.
Yeah, he's got lighters. I can tell you that, and he's got an ashtray back there too. I can see
1, 2,
3 behind you. By the.
That's it. I got 3 in here.
Yeah, he's got a lot
and
of
the trash can. The trash can.
Oh yes, a trash can.
But anyway. So, well, that's good, Bill. I like that. I like how you do that. I like how it's more of a deep dive and there's a little more conversational to it. And yeah, that works out well. I like this. So we're going to do this again next week.
Of course.
All right. So we'll do this next week. And do you have anything else you need to talk about?
I do not. But if you do need any marketing help whatsoever, you can contact me at ikwmediallc@gmail.com. And I would love to help you. Real offers only. Please do not lowball me because I do not take that very well.
You just had to put smackdown on somebody here recently, didn't you?
Yep. And it's honestly pretty laughable what they offered.
Yeah. And
so much so my mom laughed at it.
Well, I mean, they read too much Facebook and they think they can get it as cheap as Facebook. But wait till they find out it's all bullshit content that they pull out of Canva and just throw it up there, and it's got nothing to do with your shop.
Or that they have no ad spend behind it because that's an extra.
Yeah,
that's the baseline.
Hey, yeah. But hey, I'm telling you, I know somebody. I know somebody that tried it. Okay, and she told me that it was $99 a week, right? And she said she got 3 posts and 2 stories, right? And she wondered what in the hell are they posting? Had nothing to do with her shop.
They're just posting a post.
They were posting about feelings. It nothing to do with the shop. And then projected to her how many people they thought they could get, and people didn't even like the posts.
Because it's garbage, people.
Well, because it didn't go with the vibe of the store.
Yep, exactly. Which in another video, we'll talk about the whole marketing thing about I think the next one we're going to do is about compliance.
Ooh, compliance.
Because we love compliance here.
Right. So that's it for the day, y'all. And we'll see you next time. And remember, ikwmediallc@gmail.com.
Exactly.
If you're looking for some help, she's doing real well for us, and so I can't complain at all. And hopefully she's got all of her posts done for today.
I do.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Yeah, I did I have a break in between my stats class and my business writing class, so I just sit there and just do it.
Well, thank God you've got some breaks.
I know. Thank the Lord.
All right, everybody. So we'll see you next time.
See ya.
Bye.
Hey, Chad Wade here. You need business funding? I got you, man. I got you. Altura Funding gets you term loans, lines of credit, 0% business credit cards for up to 18 months, and a tool that shows you every funding option you probably qualify for. All right? So no fees, no hard pull, 90 seconds to get pre-approved. Hit the link right now.